Hello guys and welcome to Hackman Traders. In this video I'll be showing to you guys how to recognize a growth stock. How to recognize a growth stock or how to recognize a growth IPO, initial public offerings, or a company that is open just has been open to public. Now how to recognize those type of a company. You should keep in mind that whenever you are trading an IPO, that is initial public offerings. I've told you guys in the previous videos of mine what are IPOs and how to trade. And now in this video, how to recognize a growth IPO. Now, first of all, if you want to invest in a growth in an IPO, that you can assume that it will grow in the future. Now, let's say first of all, it takes time to grow, maybe a year, two, three. It takes time to grow. And if you want to invest in the stock market in that type of stock, in a growth IPO, now to recognize that IPO, you must take a look at first of all you must take a look at its financial reports. Now if you take a look at that its financial reports and see how well it's doing, how is the company performing, how has the company performed in the past and in the future as well, and how will it perform in the future. So on the analysis of those things, you will make your prediction, or you will make your first trade in the IPO of how it will perform in the future. Now you will have to take a look at its financial reports. You will have to take a look at its debt side, how much the company is in debt, how much loan has the company been paid. These are the most important things that you should recognize before trading an IPO, a growth IPO. Now IPOs are the initial public offering. Those are not after a trading of a month or two. Those are not IPOs. Those are just the first terms of the IPO. Now technical analysis is not that much important to recognize a growth stock in IPO. To recognize a growth IPO in the stock market, now it requires fundamental analysis and and you'll have to do research for the company of how it has performed. To recognize that type of a company, you can see right here, this is the total financial reports. Maybe there is more to this. You can see at this area, revenue has not been mentioned at this point. Dividend 0.20%, 0.20. So this is also a great thing to consider. Now you can see overall this company is doing well, because this is not an IPO. I'm just showing to you guys just for explanation of how you can trade an IPO. Now IPOs, like I said, do not require technical analysis. It requires fundamental analysis, how the company will perform, how is it performing, how will it perform in the future. So it requires all of that stuff. Plus there's one more thing that you'll have to consider this. First of all, that are the investors confident in investing in that IPO, how why they want to invest in it, and for how long they want to tie their investment into this particular IPO. Now all of these things should be considered before you invest in that IPO or in that stock, whatever it is. So once you have did your research and um, came up with a conclusion of why the investors want to invest in that stock, or you have also take a look at its financial reports of how well the company is performing. So you have did all of these things, and it is a well, and the company also has a good reputation. So after these things, if all of these things are positive, then invest in the stock market, invest in that IPO for further what you call it, for to gain higher returns. Now this might take time because IPOs are the initial public offerings. They are traded firstly in the stock market, so you'll have to wait for the stock to grow in the days to come. So in those type of situations, you'll have to wait for it, and if you wait for it, they might give you much more returns than you can imagine. So it is all about patience. Now I just came through this talk. Some of the guys were mentioning GameStop. You all might heard of that. Some of them were mentioning GameStops. Now take a look at this one. it also rose, but it did not rise that much, but it did. You can see, I'm just showing to you guys, this is just for an example. It was performing down, now it reached high. So this is also an example of a stocks can move upward within no time. So you'll have to do your research, and above all of these things, if you're still not sure about investing in an IPO or investing in a stock, uh, do your risk management, calculate your risk risk margin, your asset allocation, your take profits, calculate all of those, and wait for the wait for the stock to grow or to do its job. Once it does its job, then after that, if the stock drops in value, um, or increases its value, at that point, take your decision, follow your plan of what you have planned about risk margin and take profits, and boom, you will make uh, profits. You will succeed in trading. So in those type of situation, in these cases, you can succeed. Now, for a growth IPO, you must follow the steps that I've mentioned in this video earlier. So by following these steps, you will have a clear view of how the stock is doing, how well has it performed in the past or in the days, and why the company has why the company got listed on the stock market, on the stock exchange. So all of these things you will have to consider before investing in that IPO. And before investing, these questions are a must to answer. These things are a must to do your research, to analyze, because without these, you will be just wasting your money, and you will be maybe investing in a wrong stock. So always opt for those stocks that are growing, that are flourishing, that have a motive to grow. So on the basis of these things, you will have to take your decision about whether to invest in which type of stock. And that's it for today. Hope you guys are enjoying my videos and want to learn more about the stock market or the forex market. All I need you is to support my channel by hitting that subscribe button and comment down below, as your feedback is valuable for me. Goodbye.